Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abbie.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts,
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
Whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express.
Well, hey, welcome back to the Disney Hour Express, your go-to podcast for all things Disney. Can you believe we are celebrating episode 110 today?
I mean, are we really celebrating it?
It is a celebration.
Or are we just having it?
Because I have a special surprise for you later.
Because I'm 110 years old.
I mean, sometimes you do give off those vibes. I'm not going to lie.
Because I've only slept for 110 minutes last night.
That is probably the average, yes.
Because I had 110 chocolate chip cookies yesterday.
Oh, those are but I didn't even tempt myself with those because there's something about the fresh baked Stop and Shop chocolate chip cookies that if I start, I can't stop. So I haven't started. You know,
despite it being, sometimes you just have those. I had a Friday and I was just in the need for a out of the ordinary pick me up.
Gotcha.
So I found my way and I found myself in a Stop and Shop.
Which, folks, that is a rare thing because Rob is addicted to Big Y.
It wasn't close enough to, it's not close enough to work.
All right. So you found yourself in a Stop and Shop and
then you just made your way and for those that don't have Stop and Shops, if you're listening to this and there's no Stop and Shop, it's just a grocery store. I mean, there's really nothing more to say than that.
Yeah.
But they have a bakery section and, the chocolate chip cookies were on sale. So they're fresh baked, which I still don't know. I don't think there's an actual baker in the back making these. Baking. But they are they're fresh.
They taste fresh. They taste amazing.
So anyway.
Anywho.
So that got me through my Friday.
Thank you to our Pioneers for tuning in.
Let's go back to the script.
Exactly. Yeah. Whether you've been with us since the beginning or just hopped on board, we're really happy to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about the top 10 underrated Disney World experiences.
Now, these are top 10 according to...
Well, me and a bunch of people on the internet.
Oh, all right. I like it.
Are y'all ready? These are those hidden gems that we know about but don't often experience for one reason or another, right? Mm-hmm. Because we are busy, because we need to make it to our next lightning lane or multi-pass experience.
Or
we have a dining reservation, or we're just stupid tired and need a snack on the side of Main Street.
Okay.
So there is a lot. And then I also have a surprise, as I said, for Rob from a handful of our Pioneers.
I love surprises.
I know you love surprises, but this is a feel-good surprise, I promise. So don't be too nervous.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I have to leave early?
Nope. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, you ready to kick it off?
Yeah, we're starting at number 10.
At number 10. This is the Swiss Family Treehouse over at Magic Kingdom. Now, Rob, have you ever experienced the Swiss Family Treehouse?
Never.
All right. Well, we just had to start here because it is one that people often pass by. You see it on the side. It's not a ride. It's literally a really cool treehouse, and it's a walk-through attraction inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson. And so you can climb up into the elaborately designed treehouse. It's got amazing views of the park. They say it's peaceful. I guess it's peaceful because there's not too many people that are crazy enough to go ahead and run right up to this Swiss Family Treehouse, but it's definitely immersive and a cool place to escape the crowds. Now, I have experienced this with my little Heidi when she was 18 months old and walking and running and doing all sorts of crazy things that I was definitely like, I wish I could put her into bubble wrap. I am very scared she is going to run away and get hurt. But it was kind of the perfect experience because she was getting a lot of energy out, climbing up and just running around. And there weren't a whole lot of people to follow. However, her grandpa was following us behind and not so happy about this experience. It was not his favorite.
I believe. What did he say kind of when he got up to the...
He was kind of like, there's no ride up here. And he was not happy with our choices. However, okay, it's one of the original attractions in Magic Kingdom. It dates back to the park's opening in 1971. And when you get up to the top, which is about 6 stories high. It has a full 360-degree view of Adventureland and the Jungle Cruise. So you're looking down at the Jungle Cruise River, which is really cool. The other cool part about it is it's got that old-fashioned water wheel, you know, like you see in the opening of that witch movie. Oh my gosh, The Three Witches. We watch it every year. Hocus Pocus. You know how they have the water wheel and the water is generating the power to the house and stuff.
Okay.
So they have this, and they have the pulley system where the water wheel is bringing up the water buckets and it brings it all the way up to the top, and you can kind of see how it all works. So it brings your imagination to alive, right?
Okay.
Like this is an actual working water wheel, and it's not a system that you would see really anywhere else today because they just don't have it. So it's cool that they've kept it alive and kept it going.
I think that's part of the disconnect of this air quotes attraction is that, I mean, a lot of people like don't know what the Swiss Family Robinson is like.
That is like very, very true.
Yeah, because
have I ever watched the Swiss Family Robinson?
No. I don't believe I have either. It's like an older movie. It's an older Disney movie that at one time, you know, was maybe popular-ish, but even like as a kid that watched a ton of movies, that was still a movie I've never watched.
What would be cool is if they turn this, especially it being an Adventureland, if they turn this into more of a Jungle Book experience, because it definitely has that vibe of feeling like you're in a jungle, and being over the Jungle Cruise.
Yes.
It would be a great Jungle Book. Like think about seeing like Mowgli, like where he's living, and see like little animals around. It would be very cool if it went in that direction. So Disney, if you're listening, that's my input. But again, it's number 10 on our underrated.
All right. What's number 9?
Okay, so this was a really cute one, and I watched a lot of different videos, and I thought about going here when the kids were younger, but again, time constraints and such. So number 9, Harmony Barber Shop at Magic Kingdom, Main Street, USA, comes into play. Now, did you know you can actually get a haircut in Magic Kingdom?
Well, I was going to say, did you want to bring the kids there because you were looking to get them a fresh shave or something?
No, Harmony Barber Shop is both for men and women and girls and boys.
I
so
get
not
it,
a fresh shave, but you can get a little trim even if you want. You don't have to. I mean, okay. Yeah. So the video I watched was like a 40-year-old man getting a trim who had just gotten a trim 2 weeks prior, and it was really funny. But I mean, it's the one thing on Main Street, and I don't know if you've realized this, but Main Street, they have a lot of advertisements in the windows, or what would you call it? Like window fronts of stores and stuff, and they're not necessarily real, right? Correct. But this one is real. And so it's kind of like a tease on your senses. Like, oh, I can actually walk into this old-fashioned barber shop. They offer first haircut packages for, you know, your little child when they're going for their first haircut, and it gives you Mickey ears and a special certificate. Now, somewhere around here floating, I do have Heidi's first haircut certificate with a lock of her hair.
How about Bailey's?
Not from here, I know. For second kids, I'm sure I have something from Bailey, but I didn't go. I think at that point, I was like so over first haircut shops, like those little kid shops. And she was a fashionista, Bailey. She wanted to go to like the salon, like a real salon when she wanted her haircut. And Bailey,
she was one.
no, she was a lot older. Bailey's hair grew a little bit slower because she has those curls. So
Yeah,
maybe it was
that's
growing
true.
like the regular time, but the curls made it more ding, like
Gotcha.
so curly. Anyways, back to the Harmony Barber Shop. It makes Main Street feel, or Magic Kingdom, I should say, feel more like a little city rather than amusement park. And this was part of Walt's original vision. So when you go into the Harmony Barber Shop, they have a lot of little trinkets in there from like Walt's home, like from his train, from his travels. It's a really cool. But like anything else, you need to make reservations for this. It's a 60-day in advance through the Enchanting Extra experiences. You could do online or calling. Because there's really limited availability for walk-ups. People who know about this, and they plan.
But
Just as if you were going to Bippity Boppity Boutique, even though that's just for like the hair dues, it's not a cut. But yeah, this is reserved and loved.
I'd love to know, like, is it actually busy? Like,
Yes, because they only have 3
Yeah,
hair salon stores in
but-
there. It's very busy.
so they have 3 barbershop chairs.
Yes. I know. You're being a little naysayer
Is
right
it?
now.
Is it really? Are people really scheduling haircuts
They are
in Disney World? Because
so-
you're paying like $100-something to get in there, and then you're like, I'm going to spend my time getting a haircut,
Yeah.
which generally doesn't take long for a man. I understand that.
True. And this man waited. He had his scheduled time and had to wait an additional 30 to 40 minutes before
Hard
he could
pass.
get in.
Hard,
But
hard
listen,
pass.
so it's
I'm
not that expensive though.
No,
so
it's
it's
not.
definitely
It's not.
experience. Adult haircuts start at $21 while kids haircuts start at
Mm.
20. But if you want a my first haircut with the ears and everything, that starts at 28. But think about it. You're walking away with ears, a certificate, and a cool pictured experience.
And probably a kid with red eyes because they were just crying a lot.
Oh, please. You don't think they give him a little lollipop sucker while they're in there to get him not to cry?
Either way,
these cast members are amazing.
I remember every one of my younger siblings having big problems going to the barbershop because it's kind of like creepy. There's like a guy you don't know coming at you with like scissors. They're like, hold still, don't move. I don't want to nick your ear.
But then
And
this
like,
is just fighting for this experience even more, Rob, because a cast member who's trained to be amazing with your child, cutting your child's hair.
I don't know. You guys can't see the look on my face, but
I know.
it
He's not
is-
into it.
yeah.
But that was number 9, Harmony Barber Shop. Listen, number 8, my heart hurt a little bit having to put this on the list as underrated. But again, through research, I do have to say that number 8, which is really just number 1 must-do experience in my heart, is living with the land at Epcot, the Land Pavilion. Listen, it is amazing. One of my personal favorites. A slow-moving boat ride taking you through Disney's innovative greenhouses. They grow fruits and veggies for this area of the park, right? And for their animals. This is where a lot of the food comes from. And it's just relaxing, educational. It's
Oh, boy.
perfect. Perfect.
That second word was what we were waiting for.
Education on vacation.
exactly.
I'm gonna like write a little jam about how cool education on vacation is. It's gonna be like very like reggae.
Oh,
like,
reggae.
cool vibe.
Wow. Okay.
Anyways,
I
all
didn't
right.
expect it to go there, but
Yes.
all right.
All right. What's so cool about this and what drives me like insane about the coolness is that it features a living laboratory, okay, where plants are grown using hydroponics, which is soil-free growing,
Okay.
and aquaculture, which is fish farming. So it just demonstrates like modern agricultural practices. This is where the world needs to go, okay? Like I'm telling you, it blows my mind every time I go here. And every time I go, I have these great big dreams about how I'm going to have my wonderful like hydroponic gardens and I'm going to grow everything and it's going to, but we live in the Northeast where we can only grow like maybe 3-4 months of the year successfully.
Yes. And they're obviously in a controlled laboratory environment where they're able to control everything.
Yes. And it's
a little
very
cool.
But, probably Buco bucks, lots of money to keep this place going. But they do it an amazing.
But to be able to, the amount of produce and everything else that they're able to put out.
So one of the fun facts from here is that they had a tomato tree in one of the greenhouses that produced the world record harvest of 32,000 tomatoes.
That's a lot of tomatoes.
That's from a tomato tree. 32,000.
I mean, and that's the majority. I heard 16,000 of those were thrown at Fozzie Bear during his act.
Ha 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 ha. So the Land Pavilion, like we were saying, grows the fruits and vegetables that are served in Walt Disney World restaurants, including the Sunshine Seasons and the Garden Grill restaurants that are right there in the Land Pavilion. I'm telling you, we loved Garden Grill. It was really, really yummy food. Fabulous.
Yes.
So if you have a chance to visit
I am pushing to go back there this year, but we'll see.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. I love hearing little hints about what's on Rob's mind.
Because we already have one kid that's still petitioning for Space 220.
I know. Okay, listen, Space 220 is amazing, but we eat there every year.
Yeah, and the last year it wasn't the best experience, but that was mostly because we had COVID. We unknowingly had COVID.
And they had closed the restaurant during our actual reservation, which pushed our reservation to a time that wasn't
convenient. And it took a longer time, and like the kitchen wasn't fully functioning and all this other stuff.
Yeah, not great, but does show you that things happen.
Living with the land, though, I do want to say, we have to realize that, I mean, in comparatively, it is it's like what most kids would probably consider to be boring.
No, okay, yes, but my kids.
No, so that being said, our kids both enjoy it, mostly because of the energy coming off of their mother while we're there. I enjoy it as well. It's peaceful. It is fun. It is interesting. I find the technology interesting in that front. But for most kids, it's probably not like, I don't want to go through a slow moving boat ride through a garden, but people do love it. You hear a lot of people that say they love going through there.
Yeah.
But most kids probably don't want, I said, unless you have an Abbie with you.
Now, listen, I almost asked to go twice last year because during the boat ride, my kids kept talking to me about every single detail that they knew about this ride.
Yeah, and so she couldn't focus on hear everything.
I wanted to hear what was happening.
And, be able to, and then they're like, look, mama, look. Yes. But
if you have the opportunity to go on Behind the Scenes tour, you absolutely should. That is not on our list because it is not an underrated experience. It is a very rated experience. But yes, so sadly it was number 8, but that's because of popular opinion that is not popular with me. Anyways.
What is number 7?
Number 7, moving right along, is the Boneyard in Animal Kingdom Dino Land, USA. Now, the Boneyard is a massive interactive dig site where kids can excavate dinosaur fossils. They get to climb, they get to run. Think about, the things we said with the treehouse. It kind of applies here, except parents don't have to necessarily follow their kids around the whole time. They can park their butts on a bench or on the side and kind of oversee them as they play. So this is definitely a letting your kid burn off some energy spot. This is part of that soon-to-be whole redo area of Animal Kingdom, but it's scheduled to stay open throughout 2025, and we might see it close in 2026.
It's definitely going to close.
Yeah. Yes, because it's going to become a whole new area.
Yeah.
So get your play in while you can, but keep in mind that this area is for kids that are 10 and under. They're not looking for like 12 and 15-year-olds to loiter with their tweenie
they don't
behavior.
Want them coming in and,
I just said tweenie. That's a new word for me.
Well, no, I think it's legit. They don't want them coming in like, smoking cigarettes and
Oh, you can do that there.
and hanging out.
Yes.
You know, those tween people. Have you ever brought the kids there? Because we've never brought them there.
We have not. They had a similar Boneyard area over in Universal that I brought them to, but yeah, not this one. I think again, Animal Kingdom, we're so focused on the animals, and that pathway allows them to run and get their giggles out when needed.
Yes.
So,
now I believe it's also. Currently, as it's still open, it's part of like the adventurers
yes,
thing, like
the wilderness,
the wilderness badge. Yeah, it's one of the spots you have to go.
Yeah. So number 7, check it out if you need to get some steam out, and if as a parent you need to sit down and just chill.
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh my goodness. Rob's going to laugh at this one. But listen, Rob would enjoy this one because he'd get a good nap in. And that's what counts sometimes. Walt Disney Presents over in Hollywood Studios is number 6. This one's everybody passes it by because they don't really know. Hidden in plain sight kind of thing. Walt Disney Presents is a mini museum showcasing Disney's history. You'll find early concept art, models of attractions, and even a little 15-minute film about Walt Disney's life. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
It's a must for Disney history buffs and a great way to escape the Florida heat for a bit.
I would get about 12 minutes of sleeping in.
Again, this is one that I brought little bitty Heidi to kind of cool down and run around while the grandparents got some air. It was formerly known as Walt Disney One Man's Dream, and over the past couple of years has changed to this. The attraction originally opened to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Walt's birth and has continued to evolve with the focus on both Walt's legacy and the future of Disney.
Now, I believe that was also has the distinction of being known as the last known place in the parks that had reference to Song of the South.
Oh, and that could be true.
It was after Tiana's Bayou had opened, and I believe it has since been
yeah,
so
discontinued.
it's now
Gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely as part of the history of Disney. I could see that as being true, but another place to really enjoy the history and education of behind the parks. Just saying. Number 6.
Education again.
Moving on to number 5.
We're halfway there. Number 5.
Very similar to number 6. The American Adventure over in Epcot, the American Pavilion. This one might surprise you. The American Adventure is a Broadway style show with animatronic historical figures, including Benjamin Franklin and Mark Twain. Now, what's cool about this is the building itself is very beautiful. And sometimes when you walk in, they have the a cappella group singing all sorts of songs in a cappella style. Absolutely beautiful because they have kind of a grand hallway in the beginning that makes the voices sound beautiful and echoing and awesome. So it's cool. It's an inspiring show as well. And of course, like many things in the interior parts of Disney World, it's air conditioned, which is such a win. I think I said the building was a Georgian architecture of the late 1700s. So you're thinking like Colonial Williamsburg, Independence Hall, Boston's Old State House, like those kinds of things when you're looking at this building. In the show, this would be a longer nap for Rob. It's about 29 minutes long. So that's another thing to think about. It's not a quick show and you don't want to feel trapped. Usually I'm down for like the 15-minute shows. The 31-minute ones kind of like because you're waiting and walking through. This could be a rather long experience, but again, people do like it.
But it is having something to do with kids and having a kid sit through a 29-minute show about American history is,
tough.
They feel like they're at school.
But I also want to tell you, like, having this kind of stuff with like animatronics, it sticks in my brain more than like sitting in a history class. So you want to think about that.
No, of course.
Which is good for your kids.
And it also, you also have to realize the American Pavilion, which is halfway around the pathway of the countries, right?
Yes, you'll notice the crowd's getting less and less.
Yeah, most people have turned back. They're like,
Right.
no, we can't make it any further.
Right.
We're turning back.
Right.
So it's like, once you get there, you also kind of like expect as a kid, I a vague remembrance of walking around Epcot as a young child, a younger kid. And then you're just like, a lot of this stuff is boring. Like there's just nothing here. And I'm like, we're back in America, which I know is where we came from. And it's just like this building with shows, and which there's a concert stage right across from there. So it's like, here's a 29-minute show. You can watch American history. And I actually do find American history very interesting, but I have never gone in it myself. Just
one day, Rob,
worthy of the time. And that's even when Abbie and I spent the day in Epcot on our honeymoon, and we still didn't go inside of it.
We didn't, but we really were enjoying. It was a cooler day, I think, right?
It was February.
It was February, and we just enjoyed our chilling around. What we did took the entire day, though. We did drinking around the world. It was not. Yeah, we didn't have any spare moments. It was so weird. Like it was from the beginning of the park opening to the end, like full day. That is an experience. Mm-hmm. Although by the time we got to the Americas, I needed to get a coffee, right? Because I think I was like, can't drink anymore.
It was like over in, I think it was in China. You were already looking like, I'm down now.
I was like, if I fell into this koi pot.
I'm like 4 countries in. I'm like, I'm good.
Oh, man. That feels like so long ago when we were so much younger and could handle that.
So much younger. Kind of like last night.
Last night. Oh, God. All right. So anyways, number 4 making the underrated list was Enchanted Tales with Belle. And I can't agree with this more because it is truly an underrated experience because it's not a ride. People don't think to stop by here. But it is the most memorable experience that I always have with the kids every single time. So it's in Magic Kingdom, Fantasyland. You step into a fairy tale when you go to Enchanted Tales with Belle. It's an interactive storytelling experience that lets guests, really I should say children, because it doesn't really involve the adults, become a part of Belle's story. It's a live performance, but not on a stage. It is your kids are going to be with Belle and the cast members. And while you, as the adult, will typically be sitting on some benches in the audience, but it's not a big room. It's very small. Gorgeous. I mean, they've got it's Belle's. Is it the library?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. The second part that they bring you into.
Yes, and so it's so cool. If you have kids under 10, absolutely go to this. Absolutely. It's about 15 to 20 minutes and you'll get some of the best pictures that you've ever gotten of your child interacting with Belle and being in a little play. It's really cool.
Yeah. They all get to be a part. Like, I believe, if I remember correctly, Heidi was like a spoon or something, or she was
like a spoon or a plate, and
then
got
Bailey was like Belle's father.
Yes. But one at a time, they each get to have a picture with Belle.
Yeah, and then at the end, they bring everyone up, and there was a very cute girl that was wearing a Belle dress that just was like hanging on to Belle and like was like. Wouldn't get off, and is very cute, and the Belle's are very.
So this happened to us too when Heidi was very small. She ran up that aisle when it definitely wasn't her turn to give Belle a hug, and being the cast member Belle, you kind of have to give her the time. And I was like, oh, I had to. I was kind of embarrassed as a parent. I had to go kind of get her, but. It happens, and it's beautiful when you're a kid. You see them just have that joy and run up to this person that they absolutely love.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's one I don't really have a contrarian view on. I agree. If you have young kids, it's worth it.
Oh, I like that word, contrarian. Good job, Rob.
Wow.
Anyways,
I speak goodly.
Number 3 of our underrated experiences is the Maharaja Jungle Trek. Animal Kingdom in Asia. Okay.
Okay.
So we're not talking about the safari. We're actually talking about the walking pathway.
Yes.
A lot of people, I don't know if they get like confused that this is here or
They
don't
do.
understand that this is something that they can do, but it is a self-guided walking trail, in one of the most immersive experiences I think that you'll find at the parks. You come face to face with all the majestic tigers. You're thinking about baby Basco and all those things. Massive fruit bats, stunning architecture inspired by ancient Asian ruins. It's not exactly like the safari because it's got more theming than the safari does, and details.
It's more like what you would find at a typical zoo.
Okay.
But,
I mean, like, because you do walking trails at typical zoos, but this
And
is
there's
really
there's
Disneyfied.
There's like a bat house, and you watch the monkeys play, and
But yes, but it's so much better than a typical zoo because of its Disneyfied experience. Like, you're basically in this story that this was an old hunting ground and then it's been abandoned. So you're seeing all these abandoned materials throughout, like of wealthy hunters and stuff, and then you're just seeing the tigers roam through it. So you're in a story that you're watching live, and it's really interesting. And Rob's just like smiling at me. He's like, okay, Abbie, let it go. Let it go.
I did see this also when I was doing my own research of what was out there. Just that, it is. This does show up on a lot of the lists.
Yes.
I saw this on a lot.
Yeah. So, if you have the time to walk around and do it, do it. It's really cool. We did it in the heat of everything. I had my little parasol. It was hot. Right?
Well, yeah, but I think it was part of that wilderness badge. So the kids were trying to get them all. Mm-hmm. They did not. Spoiler alert, they did not get them all.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, but they enjoyed it doing it, kind of. And we always bring up the flamingo thing, right? How the flamingos keep cool. One leg in the water, one leg out.
All the time.
So like when they're in like
kids are hot.
Yeah, it's like, they're in the middle of the summer and they're like, well, I want to keep my covers on, but I'm also hot. And you're like, well, put one leg out.
Do the flamingo.
Like, I'm hot and cold. Remember the flamingos?
Yes, that's right. We are a very Disney household.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's one of the things I tell Heidi if she's having a hard time sleeping. I'm not saying count sheep. I'm like, well, start at the beginning, start in Main Street USA and work your way around Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like by the time you get to Tomorrowland, you'll be asleep.
I love that. I love it so much. All right. Number 2 on our underrated list is the animation experience at Conservation Station. So that's Animal Kingdom. You go over to Rafiki's Planet Watch. We talk about this a lot because it truly is an underrated experience. And we are also ashamed to say we don't make it as much as we should.
We've only been there once.
Without the kids, which is so sad. And they brought it up recently.
It's oddly enough that it's also kind of like in the same area, right? It's all like the ride to Rafiki's Planet Watch, where you catch the train to head over, is also in the same area where you go on the Maharaja jungle
truck.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta look out for it. You could miss it. It is a little confusing, but get on that Wildlife Express train and you can hop over to draw Disney characters from real Disney animators teach this. It's like kind of a classroom setup where the Disney animator is sitting at the front of the classroom. He has a projector screen, which you can look at, and you will be in kind of some conference seating chairs with your piece of paper, your pencil, drawing pad, learning how to draw this Disney character. It's very, very cool. It's about a 25-minute drawing class, very detailed lesson, and the experience highlights how real-life animals inspire Disney characters, kind of emphasizing that connection between nature and animation, which is the whole reason for Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
And you get to take home your drawing. Like, that's a frameable thing.
Well,
that's very cool.
Imagine if they ripped it away from you.
I know.
No.
They're like, and now because
throw it into this fire. Yeah, it's copyright.
Copyright.
We don't know how to do it.
Issues. Yes.
One of the things that I wanted to point out was that even like we obviously thought, that our kids, being that they are both into art, and Heidi likes drawing, and Bailey's more painting and other things, but
yes,
that they would like that if we didn't want to be a part of that, you could kind of drop her off there. Where it is, it's very cool. It's a very cool, like the building itself is air conditioning. I remember walking in there, it was hot when we went, and we walking in there, and it was like, huh?
Yeah.
And then they have
there's things to look at everywhere.
There are things to look at. There's windows where you can see them taking care of the animals that are not too far away from where the drawings, where it's all happening in the center of the building. There was also vending machines, so you could grab like a drink or something and just hang out in the cool area.
Yeah.
And so it's really not that, once you get out there, it's not that bad an option if the kids just want to sit and draw from from an actual Disney animator.
Yeah.
And,
it's a very cool experience. Trust me. So that made it number 2. Now, number 1 on our underrated rides and experiences is
the Disney Skyliner.
Woo!
Obviously, I'm sure if you've been to Disney, you're familiar with the Skyliner, because it's technically it's a transportation, right? And if you stay at one of the Skyliner resorts, you realize that it's a very efficient and very peaceful and very easy to use system, because it's just like, I guess, what are they technically? You're on a high wire going over the Disneyland.
It seems so dangerous.
I guess in a way, but it's completely safe. No one's ever been harmed. Kind of. But there's never been like a big accident or anything like that. There's safety checks, and doesn't run when there's a thunderstorm, and they shut it down and you have to take the buses. It's kind of a bummer, but the Skyliner, it's a very peaceful ride. You're in a cabin going over the Disneyland high above, and you get these great views of the Florida, I guess it's forest, right?
Swampy areas.
Yeah,
right?
the swamps. And,
but it even gives you a little conversation over the Skyliner radio about conservation efforts that Disney does, which is pretty cool, because as you're looking at below, thinking is there an alligator down there? It's talking about the conservation experts and how we save all these animals and give back to what we have to take away sometimes. Anyways,
I'm with you. Now, we've had some great times on the Skyliner with other families. We had it was one time, it was at the end of our trip, and we were going back, I think, to Art of Animation, and Bailey was talking to, there was another family there with a similar aged person, and Bailey and that kid just started talking about all the things they did during the day,
which is so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it is peaceful at night. It's peaceful during the day.
Yeah.
Especially peaceful when it first opens. They kind of let everyone have their own your own party, have your own car, so you're just going on it. Sometimes as it gets busier, they do double you up.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, it's very busy.
Yeah. And sometimes that Skyliner line can look really daunting. You don't want to get into it at the end of the day, but I promise you it goes pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. Want to talk about the older guests? What they can do?
Well, if you're an older guest and you want to go do a little drinking, you can definitely hop on that Skyliner and you can head over to Epcot, pick your favorite drink area, then get right back on, go to Hollywood Studios, pick another drink area, head back on, go to the Riviera. And I think you can also, pop off. I think Pop Century just got a new bar recently. Is that correct?
That is true.
So there's just all sorts of, you can just get on and off and enjoy drinks, enjoy the sky, enjoy, it's really great during fireworks time. We've got a couple of fireworks here on the Skyliner, and it makes it more magical. You're in the sky looking at fireworks. How cool.
During my solo trip, I went on the Skyliner for the first time because it was relatively new or at that point. It hasn't been around too long. And I was kind of like, I was over in Hollywood Studios. I would go on the Millennium Falcon. And then I was like, I'm going to go over to Epcot. And I would take the Skyliner to Epcot.
Yes. And
it's close. It's because it drops you off. You're like in France.
Yep.
And then I would go over to the Rose and Crown, grab a drink, and then be like, I'm going to go back to Hollywood Studios. And then you just kind of head back there. Yeah, and it's just so easy. And it's like peaceful and it's calm and you kind of get a rest. It's not air conditioned, but there's a certain amount of wind coming in through. It's not like it's, blowing you away or anything, but.
Well, because of the speed of which it goes.
Yeah, and you're moving. It's somewhat opened. Like on the top, it has vents and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Yeah, no, I agree. It is underrated.
Number one.
But it is everyone's like prefer. Like if they just had Skyliners to all the parks, that's all anyone would ever do.
Yeah, maybe so. The monorail feels like it's getting really claustrophobic lately.
Yes.
Compared to our other newer options. Mm-hmm. Anyways, what kind of news is out there?
Well,
that was our underrated list.
Before we move on, and thank you for doing all that work and putting that underrated list together. I looked up just a quick list of what people were saying are underrated rides, and we could just quickly go through them and say.
Oh, I love that.
So one of the underrated rides, and you're going to agree and not, maybe you're going to agree with some and disagree with others. They're saying underrated is Kilimanjaro safaris.
Really? Why would that be? I feel like that's like the top rated, especially because there's just not many rides at Animal Kingdom. I guess as a child, maybe.
And it's usually always busy.
Yeah.
But it does have that, again, I'm not downplaying it, but it is essentially just like a zoo in that you're going around and seeing animals.
My soul that you say that.
And hearing this guy that, might have just taken a Actifed and now he's driving here.
Our last guide.
So sleepy. Ooh,
that was tough.
The other thing is over in Magic Kingdom, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. Underrated.
Wow. I saw like an ad saying they were going to overdo this as a Stitch ride. I can't confirm that is anything at all.
They are definitely, there is a Stitch stage over in Tomorrowland where like you could go and meet, and they're doing this whole thing with the Cool Kid Summer where they're trying to promote, and Stitch is going to be out there more, especially with the movie coming out.
Yeah.
So I could see that kind of happening, and he makes sense in Tomorrowland because he is, from space. Yeah. He's a science project.
All right.
So it also has on here the Swiss Family Treehouse. So there we go. Yeah. That's one of them. Now this one, underrated. I'm telling you right now, I already disagree that it's underrated.
Wow.
Because it's just it's Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room.
Oh. Was that the one where we all kind of fell asleep?
Yeah, that was a ride. Yeah, I think at the time a bunch of animatronic talking parrots and singing parrots was maybe entertaining. I just don't find it. It was
hard to get through.
Yeah, it was really
when it was going to be over. Sorry.
Yeah, it was really a big yikes. The other one is Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress.
It's a great day, beautiful tomorrow.
There you go. She's got it. I've never been on it. Yeah,
I
know of it. I've seen. It was like it's a thing that exists. There's a chance I went on it when I was young and I just don't remember. But I mean, yeah, underrated. Then it has Cali River Rapids as an underrated ride.
Okay.
Kind of. Again, it's Animal Kingdom. There's not a lot of stuff there, so it's usually something you're going to go on. It's also like a water ride, so it's like depends on whether or not you like getting wet, because you will get somewhat wet.
But the ride itself is very short, and it's hard to follow if there's a theme to it. Like the theme comes in line before the ride, so if you're going on like a Lightning Lane or something, like it's not. You're kind of like, okay, I'm just going to get wet.
I mean, that's essentially, right? Yeah. Does everything need a theme? It also lists...
that's the answer to your question.
It also lists Dinosaur, which is, as we all know, is closing I'm going to say it is like a thrilling ride. It's a little too herky-jerky for me, but, it has like these, older animatronic dinosaurs, and it has it's a classic Disney theme where it's like you have a mission and you have to make it back with this dinosaur on your car. You're traveling back in time. Underrated, overrated, I don't know. You can decide. It does give you Living with the Land as an underrated ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have Grand Fiesta Tour starring the Three Caballeros as an underrated ride.
And I get that. It needs a good overlay, but the ending of that ride is fantastical, which would make it, underrated.
And that's beautiful. And that's a ride that, you don't even realize is actually there because you think it's just part of you think it's just a restaurant with a bunch of shops, and you're like, oh wait, there's an actual ride in here.
Yes.
And it's old, and the cartoon's a little outdated, and Donald Duck is doing his Donald Duck things. And then the last thing it has on there, and we just experienced this, the Beauty and the Beast live on stage.
Gotcha. Yep.
What do you think? Underrated or overrated?
Overrated, because when you're in a place that has shown you so much of live acting, and then you go to this where it's not like there's only 2 real live actors in this play. Everybody else is dressed up as a, candlestick or a plate or something, and it's not actual. It's pre-recorded stuff. So I think it's a little over. Like I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, and I don't think it was worth it. You're also it's a covered outdoor amphitheater, so you're not getting the air conditions.
No.
Which just kind of makes you feel bad for the guy in the Beast costume. I guess in all the costumes, right?
Yes.
Even Belle. I mean, her dress is somewhat showing shoulder, but besides that, it's
got to be heavy. Yeah,
it's a lot of clothing. So so that was just kind of a list that I found, and I thought it was interesting.
Awesome.
Some underrated stuff. I mean, I could go on and on. I think there's a lot of rides that are underrated. One of them being Mickey's PhilharMagic. It's the best time in Disney. Air conditioned, entertaining, just a great time all around. People are amazed, they're shocked, they're wonder why didn't I come here sooner? Because you were too busy trying to get your kids off the carousel that people are peeing on.
All right. What kind of news have you got for us this week?
I'm going to say that Disney is kind of lacking on the news.
Well, that's all right. They've got a lot going on just in general.
Somewhat. So we're going to start over in California. Club 33 is now advertised in the Disneyland app.
Oh.
It was never really, and it doesn't show up on the Disney World.
It was supposed to be like a super secret club, and now it's coming out.
Even though it does have a Club 33 website, has always existed, but now it's like Disney's like actually advertising it. Club 33 is a private club. It's a private membership club that you have to join a wait list to get on. Mm-hmm. And there's a supposed entry fee that you have to pay to get into to join this club. That's expensive.
Yes.
They say it's upwards of tens of thousands of dollars. And what it does is just gives you access to this Club 33 that is in both Disneyland and Disney World. Mm-hmm. And it allows you access to this. And then it just gives you like the certain amenities. There's supposedly maybe you get like a tour. I don't know. There's all types of things, but it's all very hush hush. And it's usually like celebrities are a part of it.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know. So and it even gives you a link to like join the wait list, but then it there's like a Q&A underneath in the app itself. And so it's like a frequently asked questions. And it says like, I joined the wait list. How come I'm not hearing, how come I'm not hearing back? And then there's like, it's like the political answer. It's like, oh, well, we go through the list from time to time. And sometimes we don't know how long you might be on the wait list, but if we feel that if it comes to your spot, we'll reach out, which it's probably never happening.
Never happening.
But I don't. It was a strange move. I thought on Disney's
is a strange move.
Parts.
Interesting. All right.
But anyway, that's there. So I watched a very cool video about the Star Wars BDX droids. The BDX droids have debuted they're in Disneyland over in Galaxy's Edge, walking around. They're those little like chicken looking robots. and it was just showing how they program them in order to get them to interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're actually using, it's like autonomous human interaction. So a lot of times you might think that there's somebody actually controlling the robot, but it's actually not, just programmed to interact that way. And it was like showing how they have like different moods, like when they're happy or sad or shy or sometimes they're even angry.
Oh, not cute.
Yeah. So it was an interesting video, and they're supposed to be coming to the rest of the Disney parks. I think they're saying this year, if not 2026.
Okay.
But they're pretty innovative, and they actually received awards for these robots and how they programmed them. It was a big nerdy thing, and I was enjoying it.
Well, that's cool.
There is something called CinemaCon happening right now.
Okay.
And it's, guess what? It has something to do with cinema. It's where, they show a lot of movie clips and trailers and movies themselves, and their stars and all types of people. Of course, Disney does have some of these being released. So they showed the first footage for Avatar Fire and Ash.
Oof. This is great.
Avatar 3. So it was exclusive to just people attending CinemaCon, but from what I understand was that they handed out 3D glasses to everyone that was attending and showed the footage. They had James Cameron on video. He wasn't actually there. He might have been at the bottom of the sea or something while he was doing it. But they did, they did bring out, I can't think of, Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
They brought. She was already there because she's a part of Pixar's Elio, which we just saw the trailer for. She plays, I think, the mother or aunt or something in that. But so she came back out and she talked to the crowd. And I mean, it looks, I can't wait to see the footage. There's one shot of like the sky people, or they're called the wind traders. So there's wind traders and ash people in this new one. When I kind of made the joke before, it's like ash people makes it kind of sound like trash people, where it's like, okay. Social commentary. Thank you, James Cameron. Hopefully there'll be something soon that we can actually see, because I know
we're waiting.
Yeah, Bailey's she'll be excited even when I tell her about this. They also they brought out a clip for Freakier Friday. Is coming out.
I'm so surprised this is coming back around again, but I'll watch it. I'm into it. The kids will like it.
Jamie Lee, Lindsay Lohan, they're there. And I guess, and so this time it's supposed to be that Lindsay Lohan has a daughter.
Yes.
And she's with her friend.
Yes.
And so that the four of them kind of swap.
Right.
Right. And so like what ensues from that?
Mm-hmm.
We're really building out that premise, but it sounds like a good time. It's a movie. I'm sure people will love it, and good for Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, yeah. Always happy to see Lindsay Lohan healthy, happy, and back to what she loves doing.
Yeah. And her and Jamie Lee get along. And,
yeah.
So there's a clip there, and it did show Chad Michael Murray, who was like the romantic lead in the first one. This is the scene that they showed.
I think I gasped when he came on screen for the preview.
Yeah.
Rob did not appreciate.
Wow. One of the things I forgot to talk about during our underrated part, and I just think it's worth talking about here just because I moved the tab over in the wrong spot, is Epcot's Club Cool.
Oh, okay.
I think that a lot of people don't know that it exists, and I've actually never been there myself. But it is a place where you could go inside. It's free of charge.
Yep.
And it's over. It kind of looks like it's just another dining area or something.
Yeah.
But you could go in there for free, and you could actually sample sodas from around the world for free.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything. But on top of it, it's cool in there. Hence the name. It's air conditioned. So just get out of the sun, try some sodas from like Austria or whatever.
Like, why not? Why not?
Club Cool. Anyway, again, move that over. Now that was really, and then like we talked about you and Nikki talked about in the Magical Minute, there's more shade paneling being added to Woody's Lunchbox.
Thank goodness.
So they put up one section, and now they put up even more.
Yes.
there's actually one more section of player panels to go up.
Okay.
So people can have shade, and it looks like they want you to like hang out in front of the lunchbox and eat.
Okay. I mean, it was a very small area when it first started, so I'm happy to see it.
Yes, that it's expanding. The big news is over at Universal Studios.
Oh, yeah. We watched the most awesome video this morning. It was great.
Yes, of a video from a influencer.
Yes. So it was showing the new Helios Hotel.
Yeah, the Grand Helios Hotel is opening, and it's available for previews.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're not allowing people to stay there yet.
Right.
It's still going to open next month in May.
Right.
The 22nd is when everything opens, and when that hotel opens as well. But they are allowing like the press and influencers and media,
yes,
to come in and take a look at it. And it's a gorgeous hotel,
mm-hmm.
right? The lobby.
Oh gosh, it's very pretty. But it's right there. It's so interesting.
Yeah, so it's right there.
Park.
So you're basically inside the park of Epic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
It has its own dedicated entrance.
Yes.
To Epic Universe, so you're not going to be with the rest of the scum that are in the other line.
Nah.
But it's. I kind of thought, I was like, would they just like let you walk into the park at any time? It's like you do have to go through a line and go through security and all that stuff, because obviously you can stay there without actually entering the park. I think they should just, every time you want to go in and out of your hotel, they should check your security. And then once you're in your room, you could just go out whenever you want.
That would be cool. But I mean, you think about all the things you can get delivered to your hotel room and whatnot. So there's a barrier of security that needs to be followed.
Now, we did have a question about what's the price point for staying at this Grand Helios Hotel?
What is
I'll tell you, it's more expensive in that it has, if you look at like kind of what is like the lower end of the Universal, it just has $1 sign, right?
Yeah.
That's like the Endless Summer Resort.
Yes.
And then the Universal, the Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel has $4 signs. Yes. And that's where we are with the Universal Helios Grand Hotel. $4
sign. Okay. All right. Got it.
So for actual pricing, for the standard room, the average rate is $457 per night.
Okay.
For a standard room. Okay. Now,
rooms.
One of the things that we go.
What do you think? We were notating how small these rooms were.
And they are 325 square feet.
Okay.
Per room. Oof. Now, that's hard to kind of put in your head. But if you look at it, a room at Pop Century Resort, their standard rooms are 260 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
A room at like Animal Kingdom Lodge, if you stayed there, which is more, now it's a deluxe, it's 344 square feet. The thing that we just noticed, it just seemed like there's like one bedside table.
Yes.
I know it has a chair.
In the middle of the two beds.
It has a chair and a table that you could sit at. Like a big TV, but then it just, everything felt like there was no room anywhere. Like the bathroom felt very tight. There's only one sink with a small, the standard kind of glass door shower.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just as a standard room, that's a pretty pricey amount to pay for something. You're basically paying for proximity to Epic Universe.
Yeah, but also it is a beautiful. It's a beautiful resort, so you got to think about that.
It has that great Helios bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the top of the hotel that gives you a 360-degree view of everything surrounding you, including the Epic Universe.
Yeah,
we were just saying it must be at night. It must be gorgeous. It's gorgeous during the day.
Yeah,
even at night, it must be a stunning view. But again, it's a lot of money. They do offer there's different sized rooms. You can get a deluxe room that has like a couch in it.
Okay.
So it's a deluxe 2-queen room that expands it out to 415 square feet. And that was going for about an average of $530 per night.
Okay.
Seems worth the upgrade. It's only, you're talking like $80 or something.
Yeah. But I mean, in the long run, when you're staying multiple days, you're probably like, hey, I
They also have a How to Train Your Dragon Kids Suite, which is a themed room, which you could stay at for about $900 a night.
Awesome.
But that one has an actual suite. It's a one-bedroom suite where you could separate yourself from the kids.
I'd wonder how the views of these rooms are, though. Like, is this like overlooking out over the park, or is it?
Yeah, so they do have those options. They have one that's a skyline view, they call it, versus the pool view.
Got it.
Pool view is actually more than the skyline.
Why would
go
that
figure?
be?
I don't know.
I mean, because the pool view also like looks a little bit over the park, as we saw. It would be a little bit of both. So I don't know. Okay, got it.
So just those are kind of the options there of the Grand Helios. So they were letting media go in yesterday. They gave them like I guess a time window to check everything out, and then they were like, "You got to get out of here." Right now, this is a Saturday the 5th. As I'm choking over myself, there's influencers in the park.
Yes. We can't wait to see that footage.
We're expecting a lot of media to be released this weekend and tomorrow, and we'll be reporting.
Listen, our oldest has already asked if we could just park it in front of YouTube this weekend and watch Quincy. That's our fave.
Yeah. Allears.net. So yeah, we'll be watching those and the DFB guide and seeing everything that they have coming, and we're looking forward to getting kind of firsthand reviews of what the Epic Universe is about.
Cannot wait.
And on top of that, I mean, Universal released a they showed a video of because you have a part of the How to Train Your Dragon world is you get to meet Toothless.
Yes.
The dragon, right?
Yes.
There's an animatronic dragon that is interacting with you, and it just showed someone interacting with it and how it tells you to not do any sudden movements, and I guess something happens if you do. But you could kind of put your hand out, kind of similar to what you would do with any type of a pet. You kind of put your hand out, but don't move, and then let the pet kind of come to you, and that's what Toothless does, and it puts its head down, and then you can pet it.
That's nice. That's really cool.
That sounds like fun. Now, there was a controversial kind of rumor spreading around, is that Universal is already cutting back on the budget of Epic Universe.
Oh, no. Come on, Universal.
So it's Universal, the Epic Universe is connected, right? It has all these themed lands that's connected by one main central hub called Celestial Park. That does have a ride, but it's mostly just connecting you. There's a big roller coaster in it. It has this big fountain and shops and stuff. It's supposed to have more. The original idea was to have all this entertainment. It was going to have just kind of a guy walking around with a guitar that was performing and kind of interacting with the guests. And then it was going to have a band that was performing. And it was going to have this kind of this bigger story to it.
Okay.
Where it's all the cast members were called Celestians. And they were the protectors of the, I can't think of the name of it, but it's whatever those big circular things are that you keep walking through, but they're the protectors of those. They've kind of they cut back on any of the musicians.
Oh.
They already cut those, and a lot of the people that are supposed to be the Celestians, they also don't. They said they cut back. Rumors.
Okay.
It may be that they're just focusing more on the actual lands as opposed to Celestial Park.
Okay.
I don't know.
Huh.
The last thing. Well, no, I'm sorry. I got two more things. Ooh, we're at about an hour. This is not an express.
I still got something to tell you, too.
Wow. Okay. I need to hurry up. There's Universal's announcing a national Epic Universe Portals tour. And those were the circular things that I was talking about. They call them portals. They're taking where you can go to see one of these big portals in different cities throughout the country, and it's just going to be on a screen.
Oh.
It's a screen that's going to show you video, but there might be some interaction to it.
Okay. Cool.
So you can go see those from April 11th to the 13th. It's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. April 23rd or the 26th, it's going to be in New York in Rockefeller Center.
All right, let's
May
keep those
May
dates.
16th to the 18th in Philadelphia. It's gonna be on the Rocky Steps. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then June 13th to 18th is gonna be in Chicago. So if you live on the West Coast, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going around. Go to the Universal site for more details on that. Now the last thing is that the speculation map for Halloween Horror Nights. I know everyone with all the Epic Universe talk, everyone's kind of forgotten about.
Thought about it.
Whereas last year, everyone was like, "Oh well, there's nothing else to talk about Universal." I'm not going to go deep into this, but they're saying that there's going to be people put this map out that it kind of gives hints at what like the different houses are going to be for Halloween Horror Nights because they kind of change every year. Some of them are original ideas, but some of them are existing IPs. They're saying that like Five Nights at Freddy's, Fallout, and also the Terrifier series for those horror people. If anyone's into horror, I know my brother Mikey would be listening to this, and he would be into that. You're going to be part of Halloween Horror Nights, but that's just speculation, subject to change, different things here and there.
Oh, man.
And that's all I got on the news.
A wrap? Well, listen, before we let you go, so sometimes, when you are married, you go back and forth, right? One is the positive person for the week and the other is the negative person. And we go back and forth all the time. Usually I'm going to say I'm the negative. And Rob's usually positive. But we had one of those rare weeks this week where Rob was in the negative and I was the positive. And I'm not the best positive person. I try very hard to be like, it's going to be great, but I kind of come off as like, not great. So here we go. This week, I asked a handful of Pioneers about their favorite moments on the Disney Hour Express.
Oh, boy.
And it was so funny because the question kind of transformed into what was your favorite Rob moment, which was not at all where I was going into it. But I have to tell you, you're like really loved among our Pioneers. And it's hysterical. Not one Pioneer said anything about me. So it was always about you. Okay. So here we go. One of the first ones that I laughed about, because I didn't even catch this, is the Pioneer said recently when Rob said that the affection station was code for your alone time. And then they also voted for Rob's twerking.
I mean, that video could still happen. Maybe go to our Patreon.
No, this person also loved our planning episodes and trip recaps, especially when we tell them about all the things that went wrong. I think that's me. They said it's refreshing to hear about times when it wasn't totally magical for a minute. Because that's literally everyone's trip ever. So that was really great. And they also want more trivia. Another Pioneer said, pretty much any moment that Rob makes a joke is their favorite. But in specifics, they loved the Kidani comment when you were trying to prove me wrong that we had stated Kidani. Like you were on a mission and it followed into the next episode where you were still not totally convinced that we hadn't stated Kidani.
I'll be honest with you. I still don't know for sure. I go back and forth all the time.
Another Pioneer just said the twerking episode was the best with Rob, knowing that Rob can twerk. And then the last Pioneer, again, it was just a handful that I asked. They said that they listened a lot before their trip to Disney.
Yes, yeah.
And they actually took notes, which actually made me, I'm like, okay, education before vacation.
Oh boy.
They took notes on it. And then they enjoyed listening afterwards to the banter between you and I, because of course we're married and we have a lot of funny banter. So they noticed that our more recent episodes have a timeline so they can go to the parts that they really need to hear, which has been good.
Yes,
So
has
that
been
was
an added feature.
kind of my surprise for you that I had been working on over the week to find our fan favorite moments. And really, babe, it's just you. They come to listen to you.
I think they come to listen to you, and then they just like, well, they got the other half of the they're listening to your voice and everything you're saying, and then they have like all my dumb comments.
I don't know. I think
they
you're
find
very
them somewhat humorous. So I appreciate
well
that.
loved.
Yes, as we all are humans. Sometimes we're up and sometimes we're down,
Of
and sometimes we're just pushing through. We'll have life things going on, but I enjoy being able to come here and I get to talk to my beautiful, lovely, talented, super intelligent, educational
Oh boy.
mistress of a wife.
Brownie points.
And so I appreciate that, and I appreciate getting to talk to people that are interested in either hearing us banter or the Disney talk, because that's kind of what we enjoy doing. So I
That is
appreciate
what
it
we
all.
enjoy doing. It is it's absolutely all we love to do.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for celebrating our 110th episode with us. Peace out, Pioneers. See you next time.
This has been a Family Travel Planner production.